Okay, this is the video for the D7N4 zombie event. We're going to be making the duct tape water bottle holders in this video. And in this one, I have my helper here, Emily, who's also going to be the expert for that session. Now, in order to make the duct tape water bottle holder, we're going to have various pieces. We're going to have a long piece of wide duct tape. It's about 9 inches. You'll also be getting one wide piece that's smaller. We're going to call that the small piece, which is about 8.5 inches. We're going to have a 47-inch long narrow strip, as well as a 12-inch narrow strip. And then there's going to be 2 3-inch circles, which will form the bottom part of the water bottle holder. And finally, there'll be just a decorative piece to help hold everything together. Now, the girls are going to be using templates like this. They will be on the tables, and ideally there will be one for each person. Now, what's going to happen is the girls will be doing this in teams. So you're going to have one girl that's the person in charge. This is going to be her water bottle holder that she's making, and you're going to have a helper, and they can switch off. Now, the first thing you're going to do is take your long piece, the big piece of the wide duct tape, and you're going to cover this section right here on the template. And this is where the helper is going to hold down the edges, just like that. And that's going to be her whole job, is simply to hold down the edges. Now, what's going to happen, you can move this up, you can move this off, is that the girls are going to be covering these areas with the various strips. Now we're going to start with the long strip. The long strip on here is going to be done in orange. Now the first thing they're going to do is to put down the strip here, and you're going to bring it around. Now the key thing is you do not want to twist this long strip, because if you twist it, it just doesn't work well enough. So this is what it looks like correctly. Now this is going to, you see this purple line here? You want the bottom to try to line up with this purple here. So they're going to first put this strip more or less in the middle. It's going to come around. They're going to figure out where that bottom is, and we need some help. And then it goes across here. Now the next thing is this long, long strip is going to come in around the top. And again, you want to make sure that it does not twist, because if it twists, then it's not going to be as comfortable. Actually, I think this one is twisted. Okay, so that's going to be what it looks like. And let me show you what I mean by not twisting. You see how this is flat? If it was twisted, it would look like this, and you don't want that. You want it to sort of open up right here, okay? Now, they're not going to be able to see this template because it's going to be covered. And once they do that, they have those 2 pieces down, then they're going to take this shorter piece and cover all except for this green 1/2 inch right here, because this is what's going to be sticking the other pieces together. So I have one here that I've made, and I've put contact paper on it so you can see what it looks like. So there we go. So this is, if they were holding it, helper, can you hold it down? All right, so imagine that they started off, this is the long piece right here. You can see how it did not twist. It went all the way around. We put it on here, then pretend we're putting, okay, then you can sort of flatten that so it's out of the way. Then we put the short strip on here, and so you have all these sections. This is where you would then come with your shorter white piece and covering it up, but making sure that you're leaving, let me get this closer so you can see, this little area right here, it's still sticky, because when you finally put your water bottle in, it's going to stick to itself, okay? But we're not there yet. So let's go ahead and start. So helper, can you get the sticky piece? So we put the sticky piece down. All right, the helper girl is holding it. Why don't you hold it up here so we can still see the purple lines. Okay, you can see the purple line here and right here, and this sort of guides you where to put it in. So we start off with the orange. You can do it in the middle. Okay, it comes around. You sort of line it up with this purple line, And then it's got the guides. You can see where these orange lines are. Oops. You can pull it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So we have those two pieces in. All right. Helper, you can now hold on to, just push down. Okay. There we go. Now, let me make sure, let's move this in a little again, that this is not bending. And an easy way is if you see that this folded over edge is right there, you want to make sure the folded over edge right here is also on the inside. Okay, so then we just put this down, and there we go. There's our long strap is in. Okay, now we're going to put the short strap on. So again, we lined it up, and this is the short strap goes on the black line here. More or less where we think that purple line is. We go along, and it looks like, let's move it up just a little bit. There's the purple line here. So, and we want these to be more or less the same length. Okay, hopefully that works. All right, so now that we have our straps in, we then take the shorter big piece, pull that off. Now this is where you, the helper, are going to be most likely doing it. You can probably hold right here. You don't want to hold on the, but I need to access this piece right here. Okay, so just sort of hold it. There we go. That's perfect. All right. So this is where it gets a little tricky because you want to make sure, you can see how I've sort of folded the sticky part up. You want to make sure that you're trying to get this even, because once it goes down, you really only have one shot at this. Okay. Now, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's going to be on the inside. And you can see here, we've got about a ½ inch of sticky part left. Okay, so when we fold this up, you can see how this is where you create the X. So the helper is now going to be holding this upright. We're going to get one of our circles. We're going to peel the parchment paper. In fact, if you ever need to cut out shapes with duct tape, always stick it to parchment paper first. Then you can draw your design, and it makes it so much easier on you and your scissors if you cut it out that way. Okay, so let's see if we can see that. Just sort of open it so it shows up in the camera. Okay, and again, this is not going to be perfect. These are first graders through fifth graders. Fifth graders, it's going to look better. Okay, there we go. We have our first piece there. One reason why we do it on this is so we don't get the table caught. Okay. Peel off the parchment from the second one. Okay. And put it on there. Like I said, you only get one shot. Okay, we're almost there. So now the last step is you put your water bottle in and you bring this over. Now you don't want to make this as tight as possible. If you did that, you'd never get your water bottle out, okay? All right, that looks good. So we remember more or less where our seam is, and we want to take our pretty piece of duct tape and make sure that that covers that area right there so it's nice and secure. All right, it's never going to line up perfectly. This is good enough. And there you go. It really only takes a couple of minutes to do it. With these girls, they're going to have 20 minutes to do this. My guess is some will be done in 5 minutes. Remember, they've got 2 girls have to be doing it. Some is going to take 20, and you may have to step in and help out. If both girls finish in time, we will have permanent markers. They can write their name. They can decorate it however they want. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on Saturday.